180 for 4. Well, Yuvraj Singh, he'll be back in the one-day side. Carl Hooper brings himself on. Well, the light fading quickly. The umpires have already looked at their light meters once.
I think it's a good move from Carl Hooper, from the captain, because Dillon has bowled a pretty long spell. He's still got Cameron Coffey up his sleeve, but he cannot afford to allow the two youngest and most inexperienced bowlers in the team to bowl in tandem. Powell and Lawson have struggled with their direction, and the run rate since the tea break has been over 3 runs and over. India will be happy with that. The West Indies will think they've allowed the Indians to score too freely, too quickly. And so Carl Hooper must try at least to bring some sanity to the proceedings in terms of slowing the run rate down. And you see 11 overs, 39 runs, so the run rate over 3.5 runs per over. And it's a little more than is comfortable if you're a West Indian. And if you're an Indian, you're extremely happy. The deficit has been wiped off. India ahead by 41.
Yes, the helmet's being called for, and Hooper will still try and attack, because another wicket here, like I mentioned, and the West Indies will believe they're into the lower order. We've already seen this game can change suddenly when a couple of wickets falls. It's all set now for Hooper.
Yeah, Ravi, I agree they do need that wicket, but they need to be careful, strike the balance, don't allow too many runs to flow. Hooper has that control, so he can search for that wicket, bowling into the footmarks outside the right-hander's off stump. He caused some problems for Tendulkar early on. Those footmarks would have been created by Ashish Nehra, bowling left arm over the wicket, just outside the off stump there.
Let's see.
Just eluding the man at backward short leg. Wasn't far away. Was off the glove, one thought.
Just probably came off the glove indeed. And Chris Gayle is a tall man. That just went over his head. I think he got through the shot too quickly, did Sachin Tendulkar. So Carl Hooper might persist with that line because he's got that leg gully. He's got no point, so he can't afford to stray too far outside the off stump. These Indian batsmen are very risky. They can't capitalise.
I think it's a pretty good field because he's got a forward and backward short leg now. There's no slip in place. So for starters, he's not going to go too wide outside the off stump. In Visham Besham, there's no point. So I think he'll be bowling a line off stump just outside with the wrist turn. It's not easy for the batsman to play square of the wicket on the offside. You can clearly see hitting the glove and just eluding Chris Gayle.
I think if he's off stump, just outside, it's got to be full. The batsman has got to hit it to mid-off and cover. If it's short, he'll get cut through point. So he'll be straight. Foolish. There we go, foolish. If he errs, it has to be full. He doesn't want to err, but if there is an error, bring Chanderpaul at cover and Powell at mid-off into play. But for the most part, he will try to be very straight.
Go.
182 for 4.
Over 650 runs.
The conditions still overcast. You can see the lights. They come on pretty quickly today. Play finished at 4:08 yesterday. It's 22 minutes before the scheduled close of play. And we've had a big crowd here today, and they've been thoroughly entertained by the master batsman. In fact, they've got to see good cricket over the last couple of days. Hundreds for Hines, Chandrapal, Samuels in the West Indian innings. Tendulkar getting 100 now when India needed it.
Field has been changed or adjustments made. Mid-wicket has been brought in, slip taken out. This player there. And of course, Lawson has been very, very straight. And there we go, he comes into play. That's a good move. The whole point about Lawson's bowling now, though both himself and Powell have tended to bowl too straight, Kyle Hooper recognizes that he needs to give them that protection. Once they don't overpitch, bowl straight at the stumps. That's their best chance at the moment of containment and probably getting a wicket as well. Was he ever bothered, Ravi? I mean, everyone says it's not a loss of form because he scored a lot of 40s and 50s and 30s, but was he ever bothered that the big one wasn't coming as often as probably he would have liked himself?
He sets himself high standards, and he would have been disappointed because he's the kind of player, if he gets off to a start, he often converts it into the big score. If he'd got out for, I reckon, single figure scores, he wouldn't have minded it too much, saying that, you know, my time is due. But what would have disappointed him was getting out for 30s and 40s in this series. And today one just feels he's in a different zone. He's not been ruffled at all. He's not been fidgety. The body language has been good. And just the pace at which he's scored his runs. He's paced his innings extremely well. 31 hundreds.
There's that 35 that started at Mumbai, also at Chennai in the first innings. He's got a good conversion rate, as we saw from that graphic. 34 half centuries, 31 hundreds. Once he gets past 50, he tends 1 out of 2 to go on to get that 100. And truly is a magnificent player.
Over pitch and strike driven. .186 for 4.
Tendulkar and VVS Lakshman came together at the score of 87 for 4, and they have done well, especially this man. Majestic shots, stamped his class on Eden Gardens. Hadn't got the big one here at the Eden Gardens, he was aware of that. 11th innings on this ground. And today, one of the most striking things for me was the run flow. Never ebbed at any stage, always looking to score runs. And not in patches, as has been seen in the series, all around the wicket. Back live, Kyle Hooper. to VVS Lakshman. Just nudges it down to square leg to bring Tendulkar on strike, who achieved something that has taken him a while. 11th attempt at this ground before he got the big one. In his customary style, celebrating his first 100 on this ground. And also brings up the 100 partnership, that last run from VVS Lakshman. Did you enjoy that, Danny?
Sanjay, simply sensational. He really is a genius, Sachin Tendulkar. And isn't it incredible? We discussed this a little earlier before the tea break. And these special players that come along in every generation get runs when it matters most. They step up to the plate and do the job. So the job isn't finished yet. India only lead by 48, even though this partnership is worth just over 100.
Ball.
So plenty more work to do for Lakshman and Sachin Tendulkar. But I have, Sanjay, enjoyed it immensely. So it's been a privilege to be here in Calcutta to watch this. You say 11 attempts. You wouldn't have thought so, would you, with the great man's stats, the 31st Test 100. And he makes a pig of himself against all countries.
Ball up, see. Go again.
But of course, he'll be aware of that lead, which is just 48 runs at the moment. 187 for 4. Lost a wicket of the first ball in the second innings, India. And as I said earlier, 87 for 4 at one stage. And then VVS Lakshman and Tendulkar got together. Marlon Samuels, so spin in tandem for West Indies, just maybe to get some more play on the fourth day. With the fast bowlers in operation, always the light would be more of a serious consideration.
I was at the back of the commentary box when that wicket fell, and just having a chat there about 87, the Aussies' devil number. It's incredible how that pops up from time to time. Or Nelson, which is 111 for the Englishman. And umpire David Shepherd usually jumps about and hops around if it's 111 or 222. And at 87, it's always regarded as a bit of a dodgy number, the devil's number for the Australians. 13 short of 100.
Hasn't quite timed it well enough. Left-handed stop by Merv Dillon. And the lead now exactly 50.
Well, it was called off at around 4:15 local time yesterday on day 3. And we've been saying there's quite a lot of time left in the game, but dusk, and that kept low. But dusk plays a big factor here in Calcutta. We've had the cloud and the murky nature roll in here. And it did keep low, Sanjay. That's a factor too. Batting last on the surface.
Yeah, it was more cautious this time when the ball was shorter. didn't shape up to play the pull shot, although the length was short enough for him to think in those lines. Wavell Hines may not be enjoying too much at forward short leg against a bowler like Marlon Samuels, who's given him no encouragement at all with his length. Well, he thought he was going straight to the fielder there, Tendulkar. 191 for 4.
और आप फोन करती रहना. बाय.
कौन सा?
नबीला.
Eventually, it's turned out to be a pretty good day. There was that possibility of showers later in the day. It started off very overcast, but we've had no interruption or even a threat for that matter. Because of rain, maybe we will see another early halt to the day's play because of light condition. Quicker delivery that again kept a little low.
Now then, Sanjay Mandrake. Time left in the game. As much as we can get out of today, and it might only be about 40 minutes if we're lucky. And this wicket now starting to play a few tricks. Do you think there's still time for a result in this match?
Well, he's the man for West Indies. They get him out before the end of day's play. The match is still wide open. Lucky for him. He was just fending at that one. Could have gone anywhere. A lot of rough patches in that area. Nothing much the bat tap will do to that. There you can see 191 for 4, 52 runs ahead. If you see a big wicket fall at this stage, that will again send some tremors into the Indian dressing room. And of course, the whole day is played tomorrow to play for. So the West Indies still in the dominating position. Can still call the shots. Just need a wicket. 191 for 4. .21 overs remaining. Marlon Samuel with his off spinners. It's been a good partnership for India. VVS Lakshman playing the secondary role, something that he's perhaps not used to. The last time he was here on this ground, that record partnership he had with Rahul Dravid, where he was very much the dominator. Dravid playing the secondary role, the supporting role. This time it's VVS Lakshman's turn to provide the support.
Well, you still haven't answered my question here, Sanj. What do you reckon? Time for a result? Do you think India can win this game?
Oh, just lobbing on to mid-wicket. 2 results possible, Danny Morrison. One is a draw, and the second a West Indian win. Very difficult to see India winning from here. Oh! And every time you make a statement like that, you're always sticking your neck out. I see only 2 likely results. Wavell Hines should be taken off. He doesn't deserve it. He's got 100 in this test match. .191 for 4.
तुम अपनी पसंद का खाना
Carl Hooper to continue. Created a few problems, difficulties for Tendulkar in the last over.
Keep working.
Great shot of this great ground. Stands. Chocker.
Feel it.
It's a bit like Napier, isn't it? On a cold day. The stand that we just saw.
Mate, we haven't got that many people in New Zealand, let alone Napier.
This will go perhaps all the way. Oh, no, the big boot comes in the way. Big boot of Cameron Cuffey. And of course, this happens to be a record partnership between Tendulkar and VVS Lakshman, beating the earlier one against West Indies at this ground between Shastri and Vengsaka, which was 98 runs. And of course, for the 5th wicket.
I'm just on this with Hooper. That was a good little spell. He's into his 12th over. And Sachin Tendulkar, he's had a bit of a charmed life. He tried that sweep a couple of overs ago when it went over Chris Gale's head off the glove. Then fended one in the previous over. Past short leg. Carl Hooper, he'll be enjoying this, giving it a bit of a rip. And the odd one's kept low, the other one's spat like a bit of a cobra. Chris Gale under the helmet, silly short leg. Just about nailed Chris Gale. Sorry, Wavell Hines, rolling around. He's had a time of it, hasn't he? 194 for 4.
No respite for Wavell Hines. The attack is from both ends. It's a two-prong attack from Carl Hooper and Marlon Samuels. And this is the target. Yet again, Tendulkar having a word with Ashoka De Silva during the changeover. He's very keen to get off. The light isn't too good. He's got to his 100. But never to miss an opportunity when there is to pick up the extra run. He was sprinting the first one. Thought there were 2 in it.
Well, I'm sorry. If the 2 spinners are operating, I can't see why they need to go off. 2 slow bowlers bowling, so it isn't a case of being harmed in a physical way. And there are the lights on here at Eden Gardens. Very efficient lighting it is too.
Right, that's working.
And I know the 2 batsmen would love to get off.
Danny, that's what has happened through the test match. Irrespective of who's bowling, even when spinners have been bowling, the umpires have offered the light to the batsman, which somehow hasn't convinced me is the right decision, because the first consideration when you're offering the light to the batsman or the players is if there is a risk of physical injury to start with, and with spinners obviously not as much, but again you can see at around this time, that is the time the light meters come out and the focus from the cricketers goes on to the umpires.
Well, it'll be a crying shame, because so there's still 19 overs or so remaining. And there's a good crowd in here in Kolkata, and they're enjoying their favourite son, Sachin Tendulkar, 114 not out, VVS Lakshman 30 not out. His partnership of 108. And it would be unfortunate on a nice little Saturday afternoon if proceedings were halted while the spinners are on.
No, he's not sending an SMS, just looking at the light meter. Tendulkar wanted the single, sent back 195 for 4. So 18 overs remaining, and it's become a tradition here in this test match. Bad light was offered to the Indians, and they have taken it very gladly. So India 195 for 4, they are ahead by 56 runs as bad light yet again curtails play.
Down there.
Well, a standing ovation for Sachin Tendulkar as he leaves the field. His first 100 at Eden Gardens, Calcutta. And at stumps, he's still there. 114. Good support from Lakshman on 30. And India in the lead by 56 runs. They still have 6 wickets in hand. Well, the West Indies captain tried everything. Shuffled his bowlers around. There was plenty of spin. There was bowling for Samuels, Sarwan, Chris Gale as well. But the wicket takers, Mervyn Dillon, very good opening spell where he picked up a couple of wickets. And Denon Powell then getting the wicket of Saurav Ganguly.